Welcome gamers back to another ARK Ragnarok video. My name is SebTheGamer. Now the ARK DLC, ARK Ragnarok, has been dropped about 24 hours ago, and I think it's around time that we do the best building locations on the new map. Now do keep in mind, gamers, that these locations are based on my personal opinion, and also I'm going to be trying to cover as much as possible about each location. I'm not going to be focusing on one specific characteristic. I'm trying to keep it as general as possible so then some of you gamers can come up with amazing building ideas. I do also want to let you know, gamers, that I am playing on a single player world right now, so that's why you might be seeing some cheats, just so I can speed up this video a little bit. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and now let's get right into the video. The first building location, gamers, is right where I did the intro. It's between these two peninsula cliff pillars thing, just on the southern side, roughly. Actually, sorry, this is the northern side of the island. I want to show you here on the map right now, gamers, that the location of this place is right here. This here is a beautiful place to build, especially if you want to do some sort of bridge of sorts, or if you just want to make a very interesting looking water pen. Due to the fact that this here is the only way in and out of this little bay area, this is a very wonderful place, especially if you have a whole crew with people both living on the water and not on the water. This here is a great place to build your little base. Now, what I would do as a recommendation is, if this was my base, I would put some sort of, I don't know, like bridge of sorts across to monitor, kind of like a wall in a castle of sorts. But that's what I would do. Or I would actually just build underneath here, due to the fact that if you're playing on a PvP server, you'd want to make your base as inconspicuous as possible. Keep the people away. And this here is actually a great place here. If you were to fly relatively close, naturally you would see it. But if you're able to build it in a certain way, oh, there goes my griffin. If you were to build it in a certain way, I can see someone building a small little base here just to keep you in the cover. But this here is only the first building location, and there's definitely more coming where that came from. The next building location, gamers, is a little bit of an interesting one. This one involves the beautiful waterfall that is actually located not too far from where the first building location is. I'll show you in the map in just a second. This here is a very, very nice place due to the fact that you've got the waterfall on one side, you've got this valley of sorts, you've got the river, of course, and of course you've got a beautiful flat spot up here. Now do keep in mind, gamers, that this here is only in the north, so that you will expect a lot of things. For example, there's two T-Rexes here. I believe there's another T-Rex just back there. And not to mention, gamers, that there is actually a cave here. If you were to come to the top of the waterfall, there is a cave. I don't believe it's a very big cave, but if you're interested, you can actually build in here as well. You've got a beautiful little waterfall that takes you to the outside. It's a wonderful little location. Now, the location of this place is a little bit hard to find. Actually, I'm going to fly out into the open so you can actually see the map. If you gamers are interested in building here, actually, let's move a little bit. There you go. If you are interested in building here, gamers, you have to get right here. This is the location right here. This is where the waterfall is, and I believe it's right around there. So this is a beautiful spot. It actually has an extremely flat area at the top up here where you can build your amazing creation, and then of course look over the magnificent waterfall, the snow biome, the what's it called, the harbor area, and of course you've got this amazing looking river, crystal blue, with some beautiful fish. And I just accidentally jumped off there. Let me just put in my infinite stats so I don't die here. But this here is a very, very beautiful place if you ever do want to build here. You've got your fish, and like I said, I absolutely love waterfalls, especially in ARK, and this is no exception. So this is a beautiful spot to build if you are interested. The next building location, gamers, involves a lot of natural bridges and stone. This here is a beautiful location, not actually too far from the second building location, of course, also the first one. This here involves natural formed arcs and bridges involving the natural landscape. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now, up here, it's not particularly large, but if you're going to build only a base for 1 or 2 people, this is plenty enough space. You've got, of course, a little bit of water, and of course you've got this absolutely amazing place down here underneath all the trees and rocks. Really, you've got these amazing arches. I absolutely love this place. Now, This is a little bit tricky place because due to the fact that it's so high up, it'll involve you doing quite a bit of treks back and forth between really resources and anything. Due to the fact that this here is, well, on natural rocks, the closest resources would be on the actual firm ground, really. The tricky part, though, is actually getting up to that ground. So I guess you would have to have some sort of flyer, and of course, if you're playing on this map, you have to have a griffin. There's no other exception. I guess you could come up here if you really want to. Now, the location of this place is not actually too far, like I said, from the previous place. It is right around here. This is actually exactly where it is. You've got the river here, and of course, you've got these places here. It's a very, very beautiful spot. It's a little bit tricky, and of course, it is also quite dangerous, but I would highly recommend it if you are higher level and you do actually have some metal that I just noticed. So this is a beautiful place with some ruins and of course this natural shaped arcs. If you're someone who absolutely loves the swamp biome in the vanilla ARK, this here is a great place for you. Actually, there's a lovely temple over here, actually. But this here is roughly the swamp biome version of this map. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's very densely packed, a lot of water and swamp creatures, really. And this is a great place if you want to survive, you could say, when it comes to PvP. It's, as you can see, game is absolutely dense. It's actually probably, I think, the densest part of the map. A lot of branches and twigs and things, and it's absolutely great. It's just outside the conventional island, and it's actually located right here if you gamers are interested. Right around here, gamers, is the location. It's quite lovely. There's a little mountain here, which is actually this one right here. It's absolutely fantastic. I don't think there's any metal nodes here at all, so it would be a little bit tricky to get any metal, but this here is a relatively flat area. You've got the swamp, you've got this, like, it's actually a pretty interesting area. Now, do keep in mind, gamers, like I said, this really is the swamp of this area, so getting creatures in and out, and of course trying not to get killed yourself, is a little bit tricky, but of course you also have these amazing ruins over here if you gamers want to build in the ruins. Now, I'm not sure if any walls or anything will snap to these ruins, but it is absolutely amazing. I mean, like, look at this. Wow, that's actually quite amazing. Whew, this is very nice, actually. But it's a great building location. I guess you could build a bridge across here. You could make this little tiny island, your home. It is a great building location. It is a little bit dangerous, but it is great, and it's not for the faint-hearted. If you're someone who loves the Great Canyon, this is the building spot for you. This here is literally the real-life in-game version of the Great Canyon of ARK, of course, naturally. Now, this here is a beautiful spot, but if you were to build here, just keep in mind, gamers, that it is very, very difficult, to the fact that, first of all, you've got these absolutely massive cliffs on either side, or if you want to actually build here on up and down, your resources are limited. There's a limited amount of rocks, and the really only place you can get thatch and fiber and things are on the ground or at the very top. But if you do manage to do this, you'd have an amazing cliff view, especially if you're going to build it just below this bridge. By the way, gamers, you cannot cross that tree. I've tried it, and you can die, like, really easy. It's actually not actually a real tree. Look, I'm just going to fly right through it. See? So if you were to build here, gamers, it would be it's actually quite beautiful, because you've got some sort of, well, the next building location, actually, and you also have this amazing view down the Grand Canyon with the crystal blue river going right down the middle. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, if you do want to have kind of like a choke, like a bottleneck kind of choke area for PvP, you can always just build it right here where it's very limiting, and of course you've got the water, so if you want to build some sort of water base, you can also do this. Now, location of this, gamers, it's not very hard to find, but if you do have difficulty finding it, it is right along here. This here is where the bridge is, and this here is the river. It's a very, very beautiful spot. I believe there's also some sort of cave around here, but I have not found it as of yet. But if you gamers are interested, let me know in the comment section below if you do find it, because I'm actually very curious to see if I can find all the caves on this map. Now, this here, gamers, is probably the Yosemite Park version of ARK. I'm saying a lot of American references, but that's really all I can really say to this. This here is a beautiful, towering cliffside, lagoon, lake, waterfall, everything. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's even an artifact actually up where that griffin is. I marked that griffin just so I could remind myself where it is. But there's an artifact in here, gamers, if you do actually want to get an artifact. It's actually way at the bottom. You can't actually see it. But there is an artifact. Trust me, I went in there. But this is a beautiful place to actually build. You've got the cliff sides, and of course resources are a lot more obvious to get and not that difficult to get when you're here, but it's an absolutely amazing place to build. It is just further up the river, so I'm not really going to show you the map location, but it is beautiful. You can have the view if you build on one of these pillars of both the Ash Biome, sorry, the Arizona dry desert biome, and of course the winter biome. It's kind of it's a bit difficult to get to the sea here, but if you're here, you don't really need to go to the sea due to the fact that you got more or less everything. I guess the only thing you're missing is just silica pearls and of course oil, but I don't think that's much of an issue right now. Yeah, actually no, there's oil down there. There is oil, so oil's not a problem. Silica pearls though, might be a little bit of a challenge. But nonetheless, this is an absolutely beautiful place. And if you are going to build a place where the only place you can get to it is via some sort of flying mounts, this is a perfect place, so you don't really get killed by PvP people. Next up, gamers, is this beautiful lagoon, actually lake, between the plain plateau biome, the redwood biome, and of course the snowy biome. This here is an absolutely gorgeous deep blue lake. I absolutely love this location. It is a bit difficult to get to, but what are these? Are these fossils? Oh, oh no, those are bees. Ooh, fancy. But this here is a very beautiful location, especially if you're going to build in this little cave here. Now do keep in mind, gamers, that caves are a bit difficult in this map, which involve a lot of enemies. Now, it doesn't look like there's enemies in here right now, but this here is a beautiful location with the deep blue, the biomes. It's an absolutely gorgeous location. I'm going to show you on the map right now. I absolutely love it, and this is actually probably one of my favorite spots. I love the lagoons and things of this map. It can be located, actually, if you have the 2 snow biomes, it is located right... Actually, I completely forgot where it is. It took me a little while, gamers, to find out the location of this little lagoon place, but it's right here. This here, the river goes down across here and then into the sea. The red obelisk is the green obelisk is right here, and it took a little while to find it, but once you do find it, gamers, it is a great building location. I actually quite enjoy the location of it. You've got this little path up here, actually, that I noticed that can take you right into the water. It is a beautiful location. This map is actually absolutely beautiful, but if you gamers are interested, there's also a lovely snow biome at the top. Now, the snow biome doesn't actually have much at this current moment, but there are 1 or 2 beautiful building locations, especially up here with this crystal blue lake, followed by that small little waterfall down into the massive lagoon. Well, not really massive, but more very, very deep. So this here was really the only best snow location, but there is one more that I would like you gamers to check out. The final location on the snow wintry biome is here on top of this mountain over here. You've got a cave over there, actually, that I just noticed, but that's not really what I'm looking for. At the top of this area here, there's this beautiful little lagoon, lake, crystal clear, absolutely crystal clear. But that's not really what I'm looking for. If you gamers are interested in building up here, feel free to. It's just the cold, and building in a cold is kind of a little bit of pain. But down this you could say, waterfall, actually, you could say, down this waterfall confirmed, there is a beautiful place that I was actually going to show you now, but I'm kind of in a little bit of a predicament right now. I mean, I'm kind of being attacked by a beautiful saber. Actually, that saber looked bigger than normal. Did they make this? Did they make sabers bigger? I'm not sure. Come on, can I jump on you? Can I whistle you passive? Thank you. And let me jump on you. No, come on, let me get on you, please. There we go. Okay. Now, down this, waterfall, if you don't die, there's this beautiful little lagoon, this lake. I've been focusing a lot on the water, and then you've got this little ruin here. This here is a fantastic place to build a base. The only way we can get to it is either somehow getting across the water or with a flying mount. And of course, you've got this beautiful waterfall, and you've got the snowy biome at the top. The location of this, gamers, is actually a location I do know, so don't worry about that. It is right here, I believe. I think it's right there. Unless it's not. Unless it's right here. It's definitely right here. Now, you see, gamers, I was joking there. It's right here. It's this little lagoon here going down to here, and this is where we saw the first building location. So these are really all the building locations in this side of the map. But what about this side? That's what I'm going to be showing you next, gamers. There's some interesting building locations here. Now, do keep in mind that these here are building locations that are not really recommended, but if you gamers are willing to give it a go, feel free to, and send me a link to your creations on Twitter or something, because I would be very interested to see what you gamers were able to come up in these following locations. So let's move on to the more complicated and tricky yet still beautiful locations to build your base. the Ash Biome, full of a bubbling volcanic area with not many flat places, yet it is still possible to build your base. Now, it won't be actually on the mountain due to the fact that it's nowhere near a flat base. Maybe at the top of the hill there's a little bit of flat base, but if you were to go down a little bit, past the two T-Rexes, naturally, there is this beautiful flat location here, built on the ash of the volcano over thousands of years, just adding some lore, you know. Across this, actually another bridge, now that I think about it, there is this ash field. I think it's an ash field of sorts, and it really tanks your computer if you're not careful. This here is probably the flattest place you're going to get, besides, of course, the coast. This is not maybe the best location. It's right in the open, there's not much cover, and there isn't much resources. So it's a bit of a tricky place to build, but if you gamers are actually committed and you really try, I'm sure you can probably build a base or two here. The location of this base is right about here. This is really the only place you can really build. There isn't much, there's actually not really much here. It's got some interesting loot. It's got, of course, the obsidian, it's got metal, it's got lava, for crying out loud. And there's also, of course, the typical RGs and some other hostile mobs. I didn't realize there were snakes here until I came here while I was playing. There's also mantis, if you gamers are interested in taming up a mantis or two. I thought that was only on Scorched Earth. Now, those gamers were probably the best building locations you can get on this map. Of course, this is purely based upon personal opinion, and some of you gamers might want to build in absolutely different locations, which is absolutely fine. But if you gamers think that there's actually building locations that you really would like me to check out, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to make a part 2 of this video. These here were mostly generalizing, not really a specific spot, but I do believe that this map has some absolutely amazing building locations. Of course, you've got the castle, you've got the artifacts, you've got so much lore that you can learn from this, and I'm absolutely amazed that the ARK devs added this into the game. So if you gamers do want me to make a part 2, let me know in the comment section below. Maybe I can check out the ruins that are scattered all over the place. Actually, of course, the most interesting of ruins. Now, if you gamers also want to send me your buildings, because I'd be very interested to see what you gamers came up with, because honestly, I know that some of you gamers are extremely talented when it comes to building. So let me know what you gamers think in the comment section below, and if you're new, do not forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button. I did upgrade my PC, as you gamers noticed from the last time I made a top building locations, which was the redwood biome on vanilla, which was actually quite a time ago actually. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the very next ARK video. Probably it's going to be something special, but don't worry gamers, the survival series on ARK Ragnarok, right? I don't know. On the new ARK DLC will be coming shortly. I've been preparing it with some of the Gaming Evolved crew, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the very next video. Goodbye, and don't forget gamers to keep on gaming.